Welcome to Coffee and Pizza. I hope you can enjoy.
Welcome to another episode from Coffee and Pizza. And for today, we have someone like very interesting person, but I don't want to explain nothing. I want he can introduce himself by himself. And for today, we have Mohamed from Cairo. Welcome to Coffee and Pizza, man. My pleasure to keep you here.
Yeah, thank you, Albert, for welcoming me. It's a pleasure to have you on this show and, motivating everyone trying to start in cybersecurity, knowing how, everyone started from somewhere. And, I will be talking about my story. How did I start? What is the challenges and, what is happening behind the scenes?
And something very, very interesting, I believe, from your profile is you was working remotely for United States. I see you was in Mexico, right?
Yeah, I'm currently now, last year we started besides Albuquerque. It's in Mexico. We are trying to build a community there, and we had a great success last year in our conference. We had a lot of security professionals attendees. We had 500 attendees for the first time.
Wow, that's incredible. But that's something we will touch later because I believe it's super interesting. And also for me, it's super interesting to know about you. For where are you from? I said you are from Cairo, but from where? Like, you born there, you grow there, or what about you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Cairo. I live in Old Town. It's not fancy, tall buildings and stuff. I had a rough childhood in our town. It's not people are not very friendly. You hear in the shows about bullying and stuff.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Maybe I was lucky because I was working from people from Cairo and was super nice people. Most of them same people like you. Always with a smile, always trying to help you. Like very, very nice people from Egypt. That's my feeling always when I work with international teams. The people from Egypt is very, very, very. The good thing here in this podcast, I bring people from around the world, and I am very open minded. That in other point of view, I want to know you born there, and how was the schools there? Like, you have a regular school, you have a you go in, you grow there, or how was your the beginnings?
Yeah, I grew there. My school, was very bad school. We every day, the floor was sand, and you are trying to study, and no one actually cared about if they are teaching you the right thing or not. School was a very tough experience. It's not for me only. It's for everyone going to governmental school in Egypt. No one cares about your education. No one cares about, how to teach you anything in life. So you need to figure it out yourself. Streets are very tough in Egypt. When we are talking, about old towns, not big towns, streets are very tough. It's a challenge for me, and most of my friends in my circle. So we overcome these challenges, and
I can understand perfectly.
Yeah, in high school, my father passed away before exams, and in the last year of high school in Egypt, we have it will tell you what college you are going to, because your grade is everything in your future. This is the culture we have in Egypt, but in the real thing, it doesn't matter what is your degree or your grade, but I didn't understand that. But in that time, my father passed away, and I didn't have anyone except my mom beside me, and I was able to continue, and I started studying computer science in college, 4 years. I was working in a young age before joining to college or any kind of IT related stuff.
Mhm.
I was working in many jobs. So yeah, after graduation, I started to work as a system admin, and I was doing internal penetration testing. Then I got my first penetration testing focused job. Then I started to switch from company to company. I started to grow. I Hacksbox is a very good platform.
Mhm.
I was participating in Xbox for big time.
One question, Mohammed. I have the question like, sorry, first of all, so sorry for your dad, I know it's not a easy thing in your life, but also more in your community, because I believe you come from a Muslim culture, and most of the Muslim culture, often the dad or maybe take care of the family, and when your dad pass away, you need to take the responsibility, right? Something like that. Then the thing is like, it's normal you say you start to working because you are the only one can bring food to the table, we can say, because I don't know, you have brothers or sisters or something like that, but it can be a very very hard situation, from someone like you. Among when you are studying the college is the time for study, the time for do like that, and you start to working, right? I don't know if you always was working around IT, or maybe you didn't have the chance, because at the beginning it's always hard. Is you
Yeah.
was or no?
No, I wasn't working in IT.
Mm.
I was working in stuff like media, TV shows, some stuff for ushering, marketing. I'm just trying to make some money. Not
Exactly.
not focusing on in any kind of careers.
Mm.
And I didn't have any sisters or brothers. I was all alone, me and my mom.
Mm.
So yeah, it was a big challenge for me in my life.
Mm.
And alhamdulillah, everything is good now. So yesterday I saw one of the great leaders, Dave Kennedy.
Mhm.
He also shared his story. It was very very motivational and inspirational. How he overcome challenges in his life, and how his wife helped him to found his first company and found the next company. You know, you are not you are not a failure. You know, someone you are a failure is a very common.
Mm.
You hear a lot people trying to get you down. You need to have people around you motivate you, believe in you. So if you failed one time, if you failed two times, three times, you need to go back on your feet and try again. This is life, nothing easy.
Mhm. Always I say something like, you are not failing, you are learning.
Yeah,
And that's something very common also in cybersecurity, because most of the time can be very frustrating situation, because you try to find a way to create something or broken something, and it's like fail, 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 fail most of the time. That means you need to have a very, very, very strong brain to support this pressure, because sometimes it's like, in your case, you was talking, you work in a company, and like you have the pressure of, you are working in a company, you have time, you have deadlines, you are not getting nothing. The most terrible can happen to someone pen testing is like, you send the final results and you say, we didn't find nothing, and the company finds something. It's like, this is terrible when something happens. It's a huge pressure, and many people don't understand like that, And anyway, I want to come back a little bit. Like, you you study cybersecurity in the university, we can say. or just a bachelor's degree about engineering or?
Yeah, it was only computer science
Computer.
yeah, in my time, I think we didn't have any cybersecurity degrees in Egypt. But yeah, for now, I noticed some universities are having this kind of degree. So computer science is very very nice beginning to start
Hmm.
with.
Of course, 100%, because it gives you the point of view of 360 view of the everything, right? Developing, like networking and everything you need if you want to be a good pen tester. Also, I want to make you the question, like, at that time, how do you discover, do you like cybersecurity, or that's just the beginning and you don't know nothing about cybersecurity?
Yeah, cybersecurity. Yeah, okay. So, from a while, don't call it cybersecurity. In my life, it wasn't cybersecurity. It was, I was a kid who loved to, crush, crush everything and, toys, destroy it, everything, and rebuild it again. So I wanted to know how it was built, you know.
Mm.
I have this curiosity, and this curiosity developed with me growing up. And, there is computers, so how to break a computer, or how to do something is not common, and back in the days, you can fish anyone, you can brute force anyone. Everything was easy. But it started like this. You have the curiosity is one of the most
Important, we can
yeah,
say.
one of the most important factors in cybersecurity, because
Mm.
especially if you are in the red team and you are trying to hack someone every day as your day-to-day job,
Mm.
so you need to have curiosity. So yeah,
Exactly.
curiosity what brought me here. Yeah.
Because most of the things, always explain to the people, this is not a job, this is a passion. Because not have any sense when you spend 12 hours or 15 hours in front of your computer. Don't have any sense. Like, this is not natural. This is, you cannot say, I don't know many jobs that people can do able to do like that. I don't believe accounting can do like that. Or maybe some people from accounting. It's different approach. But we are talking, like, at the beginning, it's like just curiosity, and that's a very very important point of view. But, like, you was alone in the curiosity, or you have you have people surrounding you, a couple of friends help you to understand like that, or you was just alone there trying to figure out what I am doing?
Yeah, I was all alone in the beginning, until I found, a community,
Mhm.
my friends. I have, a tight circle when, we are trying to do something. We are trying to build research. We are trying to build bounty. Having the people around you is very nice. So when you have something crazy in your mind, you need to go to your friends. Okay, guys, we gonna do 1, 2, 3, and you see everyone is motivating. Let's go. So you stay up all the night and trying to figure out, how to solve this challenge, how to find a bug in Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, some big names. If we are trying to do some research to discover 0 day, getting a CVE. So, you need to have crazy people beside you in cybersecurity, and we forget about our day job. So
Exactly.
next day when you wake up, you are trying,
Yes, that's something very interesting point of view, because something I try to do here also is try to create community, because I can understand, at least in my case, maybe I'm older than you. I am born in 83, in 1983. That means I am 41 years old. That means at the beginning for me was not easy, because not many people can understand. A guy from Barcelona, in my case, can access to these computers, do something like that. At that moment, but was the beginning. I don't have community, don't have people around can understand what I am doing. And sometimes something you said is very interesting, like you can feel like isolation. And it's very, very interesting and very, very cool when you have people around and support you, because make you be not only a better hacker or better professional, also be a better person. And that's very, 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 very interesting point of view. Are you explaining here to the people? But when you arrived to the university, you didn't had already the chance to know more people or about in cyber, or you was general knowledge?
No, in college we start coding, programming. There was some guys interested in cybersecurity, but in Egypt or Middle East, it's still not a very mature field or subject to see everyone understand cybersecurity and everyone have a passion about breaking stuff. So we are not we have in Egypt like 300 pen tester or 400. So it's a very, very small number when it comes to the whole population of Egypt. So till now we are trying to teach people, showing them what is cybersecurity, discovering their passion. I actually didn't graduate from a while. It was 5 years ago, but the first cybersecurity company in Egypt, I think it was founded 10 years ago, maybe. So it's very, very new in Egypt. So if someone started in 20 years ago, he was all alone.
I know, like, it's different approach, but I can understand. Like, for example, we can say in India have a lot of pen testers, a lot of people working in red team, because I believe the first thing, India is so huge and you have there a lot of people, right? That's the first step. The second point is like most of the people is very poor, and the third thing I think it's important in India is like the people is very smart. I don't say like in another countries it's not very smart, but if you have a lot of people, it's normal. You have a lot of people, like one person is smart, you have a huge community, right? And in another hand, that's something it's very rare. For example, I am a Spaniard, and Spanish people is like in Spain we have maybe the hugest number of hackers by people, by person, because we have this point of view. We are different. We are the people from Spain was the winners from Hacker One Championship, winning to Israel, and sorry Israel. And I understand like Spain and other countries is different, but same as you mentioned, in Egypt is like something is growing, and it's very interesting. What are you trying to explain to the people? Like, it's important to create the community, and I hope you can help to Egypt to grow this community, because I believe you have the knowledge. And talking about the knowledge a little bit, like when you started at the beginning, you were talking about you really enjoy playing to hack the box, right?
Yeah.
That was your beginning. You starting to hacking like in hack the box, or you starting in another side?
Yeah, my roadmap was not the greatest roadmap. So I actually was interested in networks. So I started to learn networks in depth. Like I studied CCNA security, CCNP security, and MCSA, stuff with I don't remember, Network Plus. Yeah, Network Plus. So because my job was to build stuff when I was system admin, and when you know how to build it, you know how to break it. So I was very interested in building stuff, and I started to reading blogs, seeing some YouTube videos about stuff, and my methodology of learning is learning by practice. not only reading and going through courses and stuff, but yeah, and then I started playing Hexbox without, people, they say, you need to do OSSB, you need to study CH and stuff. I didn't study all of this. I started to break stuff. And when I get stuck, when I get blockers, I reach someone, I go Google it. Google is your best friend in any IT field. So it wasn't the greatest one. Not the greatest roadmap to start with. Now you can, start with something like EGBT. It's very friendly materials. OSSB is nice, but it's very expensive in Egypt. Yeah, it's very, very expensive. And, you can find now everyone is sharing free courses on YouTube, LinkedIn, resources about how to start. It doesn't matter the way you start to learn in cybersecurity. The thing is, you need to have some basics of everything. Like you have network basics, system basics, concept of programming. All of this stuff will help you to have the full image when you are trying to hack into a web application. You need to know how this application was built, so you can understand when you are trying to intercept a request and playing with it, what is happening in the backend. You actually can't, have a full image, but you can imagine to play.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's...
And something we move forward. We move back to the same point you started at the beginning. It's like curiosity. How is working that? How is going from this side to this side? What is happening here? Why? And then you Google it and you try to research information. Because something very, very interesting is like most of the times I explain to the people, hackers is not just hackers, it's researchers most of the time, because we don't know something. And it's like we are trying to do something new. No one know before. Then the research is the only way to find a way to do it in a different point of view, and that's something very, very interesting that you mentioned. And also you was talking about platforms and OSCDP, but something I explained to another courses and other people, like I believe like it's very cool if you have some certification, but in my point of view, if you are on the top 10 of the HackerOne or background, what doesn't really matter the certification, because you are proving you know how to do it, right? That's interesting. And I believe like everywhere today, you have many people with certifications, and that doesn't mean it's easy to get the certification. Of course, it's not easy. OSCP is not easy, and everyone. But also we are having in the market new certifications, for example, from TCM, and I believe it's a very good one, or maybe I don't know, INE, or different certifications, or ENI or INI. It's very interesting, and that means like we don't need to be very focused on certifications at the beginning. I believe you explained something very interesting. The first point is to start to learning, right, and try to understand what is happening, and this researching to understand, and that's the point. And also, I bring here some people from Spain, and I have one friend. He's Miguel. He is in the Hall of Fame of many places about Bug Bounty, and he explained to maybe the best point for starting is about Bounty, because it's the place where you're gonna learn. But in my point of view, and that's something I want to share with you, and I want your opinion. In my opinion, start with Bug Bounty can be very frustrated, because it's not easy to get the results. Then what do you believe? It's better for your point of view starting in platform like Hack the Box, like another one, or you want to go directly to Bug Bounty?
Okay, so my point of view is there is no right or wrong in starting to do Bug Bounty or Hexbox, or participating in some CTF, but you need to understand the approach of every section. So if you are going to practice on Hexbox, you need to understand how to solve a machine, and you need to understand solving a machine in Hexbox. It means you need to know a lot about getting initial access using RCE, and it can't be easy like getting one RC. You can use chaining vulnerabilities to get an access. Then you need to understand the kind of shells you are using to get the reverse shell and privilege escalation, some internal enumeration. So Hexabox is not easy. But if you are starting practicing with it, you need to understand how you gonna approach it. For bug bounty, now we have many solutions: firewall, WAF, CDNs, every stuff. If you are starting to do bug bounty, it's as you mentioned, it's frustration for someone, because everyone think he can find a bug in his first day bug bounty or his first week, because Twitter, LinkedIn, you can see everyone saying every day, yeah, he was awarded $10,000. Yeah, but it's not easy like this. You need to have patience. Yeah, you need to understand the logic of the website. You need to do something new, maybe discover some hidden subdomain not used, and they forget about it. You get RCE, subdomain takeover, stuff like this. But it's not easy. But you need to know the best approach, because if you don't have the full image, you will get frustrated very fast, and you will go back and say, okay, I'm not doing this. So you need to reach someone. So everyone is offering help. If someone is starting his own way and you get to a blocker, reach someone has experience to tell you what is the best approach.
And also you mentioned very interesting is like how the box give you the possibility to touch the things and broken the things in real time. And if you are something like you or me, I have the same problem. I like to broken the things better than study how to broken. Like I like to do it. Hack the Box forced you or Hack the Box or another platform forced you to read about. Because if you want to move to the next step, you need to read it about this technology and how it's broken and how you can exploit that. And in my point of view, give you same thing, something you mentioned, like the methodology to the approach, and that's super interesting point of view, because we can discuss about that, but also something I try to explain is like when you play some to capture the flag or something like that, it's not the same methodology as when you play bug bounty, because bug bounty is another thing and capture the flag is another thing, because most of the times with bug bounty we play with a very huge scope, many times not have vulnerabilities, and you need to try to find or figure out where can be, understand the logical of the company, and you have many process behind. With Hack the Box, you can go more straightforward. In 2 hours, you can do an easy computer, or 2 or 3 hours, depends of someone, or depends on the computer, how complicated you want to do it as computer, And in my point of view, if you see that advance day by day, it's more positive for you to be to find the motivation to stay in the market. But something I want to move now is like you was explaining, you was playing also in bug bounty, and I want you can explain a little bit your experience there and how it was, and what are you doing, and what are you doing now, and what are you doing in your testing company? I want that.
Yeah, I was doing Hexabox, for I think 4 years.
Wow.
I was in the top 10 in Egypt. I was the first to place. I have I got top 75 world rank. Then I stopped because I got very busy with work. So yeah, it happened when I started to work at PwC. I became very busy and I didn't have time to do Hexabox anymore. But I was focusing more on research. Yeah, finding some 0 days, killing some open source applications. It always easy to get a CVE from an open source application. you have the source code, you can play it, you can host your own environment. So I enjoy that a lot. I went through many certificates. Uh, you know, one of the most certificate I like the CRT and ECPTX by ELR, but this is they are not offering it anymore. It's a red team certificate.
Mhm.
And currently I study every day like any any average IT guy. We study every day. You are chasing a technology, how to organize it. Last year I presented the research about how to abuse AWS CloudTrail and how to use it for poison logs, doing some stuff to manipulate analyst view. So it was, people liked it. And, I did a training to how to hack AWS, from the initial access enumerations and privilege escalation. So, every year I come with different approach because, technology is developing every day. Now you have AI, large language models, sorry. So you need now to hack it, and you need to understand how to play with it. So every day you have different approach. Uh, every topic is very interesting, and if you started looking at everything in cybersecurity, you will get crazy because you don't know anything.
Exactly. That's something we were discussing at the beginning, right? You say, they told you, like, how can I introduce you? And you say, I don't know. I am just learning. And that's something
Yeah.
I believe is very interesting. When you learn about cybersecurity, you understand how little and how bigger is this field, and how much you need to learn for, say, okay, I am professional in something, right? And that's something like makes I believe, like, try to be humble. Sometimes, like, the people believe cybersecurity or hacking people is like more, how I don't know how to say, like, very, very, very high profile and don't want to talk with no one. But
Yeah.
it's not like that. Always I find people very, very interesting and very, very humble and able to share with you the knowledge. Same as you mentioned about AWS and something. It's very interesting because not many people is trying to explode like AWS. Most of the people, when you go to bug bounty, it's going to XSS or maybe it's SSRF or something like
Yeah.
that. But AWS is like, have some people, but not experts about that. And I believe it's like, 25% of the cloud is built in AWS. That means you have a huge field to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's why you take the decision to start to study AWS, or why?
Actually, it's not the reason behind it. Uh, you know, in today's market, cloud is essential now.
Mhm.
If a client came to me and he want cloud penetration testing, so I had many requests about AWS and stuff, and you can see every market, Middle East, Europe, US, everyone now is using cloud, AWS and Azure especially. If you have Active Directory, so you have Azure. Now it's the new technology, so you need to understand how to provide this service. So I started to study AWS, from the administration perspective. Then when you understand, how it was built, you will know how to break it, because cloud is like, Active Directory pen testing, or, Active Directory security assessments. You just abuse misconfigurations, because, if you are a user, you have like edit, delete, listing some secrets, viewing some, codes in the repos, trying to inject in the supply chain. This is, a trend these days. supply chain attacks. If you have, software in the cloud, and I was a threat actor, I will inject my backdoor in the cloud, and I will start, I will start doing my stuff, exfiltrating data, hiding there for a year maybe.
Mhm.
So yeah, sorry for that. So yeah, every day I'm trying to learn, because customers or clients come to you. We need to do assessment on this, assessment on that. So
Mhm.
you are forced to learn.
And what is the common mistake do you find when you are trying to do a pen testing over AWS? Because I was reading, and most of the problem comes from misconfiguration and
Yeah.
users with more privileges than need to have or something like that. But from your perspective, what is the most common issue you find?
Yeah, it always, S3 buckets, misconfigurations. You can list it, you can get some stuff from S3 buckets. You can see S3 buckets all the way in GitHub. Everyone in Bug Bounty, I think they are focusing on it. But, if you have access and you are doing it from inside, most of the misconfigurations come with something called assume. So assume rule is if you are trying to give someone more privilege, he can assume this rule. So there is some misconfigurations. He is using the policy, giving wildcard or matching on any last letters on, or if I have like Mohamed,
Mhm.
wildcard at gmail.com. So you can create any account, have Mohammed in the beginning and at gmail.com, and do anything between. And you can assume this rule and elevate your privileges. So this is one of the common mistake you have in AWS. And for sure, the S3 buckets is, it's trendy for 2 years now, I think.
Mm. Also, I don't remember the console where EMS. I don't remember the name of the console where you take take the names of the privileges of every user, and most of the people there have don't understand very well that side, and that's why you find misconfigurations. Because I understand. I work in some companies, and now we will move about your experience working in companies, but something happens very common. It's like, okay, this company it's working in something, and now we will need to move to the cloud. And someone working in IT is like, okay, I need to create the first backend, and I don't have experience, I don't know nothing. And you go to AWS and you play with the buttons and whatever, and now it's better, but the security by default offered by AWS, but few years ago it was like nothing, and something you can find is like many misconfiguration because about the privilege, as you mentioned. But now I want to move a little bit about your experience now working as a pen testing, like when you started working as a pen testing and where you was working as a pen testing, something you can explain, because I understand always you have secret behind. I cannot tell many things about.
Yeah, I started to do pen testing for a company providing services in Saudi Arabia. So my beginning was in that market. It's a very challenging market with big infrastructure, but you always have a challenge. So this was my first job. I started to working there, starting to find stuff in some very very critical infrastructures. I was happy securing that, because when your client is secure, you can't sleep at night. Yeah, then I switched. My company after that, Payato was based in India, so I was the only one who is not Indian in that company. Yeah, I have many friends in India, and very very close friends. I started to working there. My market was Europe and, some companies from Asia and, market in Europe. And when you have clients from Europe, it was, very large infrastructure. When it comes to Active Directory, doing that team, it was very big. And I love very much, Bayato, my colleagues there. It was a very nice, experience. I went there I went to India in a conference called Nalcon. It's founded by founders of Bayato. It's a very nice community. And then I started to work in BWC here in Egypt. BWC ETech, it's called ETech, Egypt Technology and Innovation Center. It was the first, a delivery center, have a cybersecurity services. So it was a, whole new beginning, and it was very, very cool to, switch to that. I start working there, meeting everyone from, I was focusing with UK. So dealing with the clients and, my colleagues from UK. It was very interesting. One of the stuff I want to talk about in someone's career is soft skills. Soft skills is underrated when you're talking to someone who likes to break stuff, playing with the computer. And when you are trying to talk to a client, you need to, you will have a barrier. And if you are, if you are working in a multinational company, you have people from every culture, from everywhere. So you need to know how to speak with everyone, how to be friendly with everyone, because, you come from different background. I came from different background. So you need to understand my background, and I need to understand yours. So soft skills is very important. How to present yourself, how you collaborate with a colleague from maybe US, maybe India. So this may be some challenges. It's okay to have it, but you need to work on it. Soft skills is very important, and in some situations it's more important than technical skills.
Totally agree with you, because when you work with international teams, that's something very common. And the people believe it's about races or something like that. No, it's different culture. Doesn't mean, something in my culture is normal for you, maybe cannot be normal. And I can put the example. I was living in Asia, and if you go to Asia and you touch someone because you say, hey, how are you? That's very unrespectful. You cannot do like that.
Yeah.
That's something that's absurd. But if you arrive to Asia and you go to touch someone, it can be like very respectful, and the people feel like reject that situation, right? And you can have a problem. And that's something cultural. It's nothing that means someone is better than another. It's different culture, right? And that's only one example. But I mean, like when you are talking with the people, that means you need to have a different approach, a different way to your delivery when you are talking with the people, because you want the people to understand your point. And if we are moving forward and we start to thinking like in customers, because now we are talking in teams, if we believe like in customers, like totally different, because then you need to be maybe more respectful, and because the people is paying for the service, that means you need to go there. Then also I want to mention, like I see in your profile you was working in United States remotely. That's right, or?
I was working remotely with some folks there.
Then yes, and after that, like I was thinking about you was working doing or presenting conferences. Can you talk about that side, because I believe it's very, very interesting also, because I want to know what you did in Mexico.
Yeah, I know this is very interesting for everyone. When I was traveling, and my manager in UK in PwC, he said, "Why New Mexico?" So why
What happened
didn't
in
you?
exactly, because something happened in New Mexico, when New Mexico will be always in New Mexico, something like that.
Yeah. So why didn't you do besides Cairo or besides Alexandria anything in Egypt? So the story is I have a I have a very close friend in Albuquerque, and yeah, and he started saying, okay guys, I want to do that. Can we arrange something? Can you be with me and stuff? So I said, why not? Why not? I build a community in New Mexico.
It's incredible.
So yeah, so we started working on stuff, how we present the venue, speakers, keynotes, people who will review the CFP, and everything. It was very stressing because it's first time, and you don't actually you can't predict if this will be successful or not, if people will come to you or not. And it was a surprise for us. We actually people keep showing up. And we have senator, yeah, and former state auditor. They came to us. We had large number of people and very important people, and we didn't know. And me and him was looking, was looking to each other. Okay, bro, can you remember when we were talking about this?
But that's super
Yeah.
nice, because it's a different culture, and also maybe that something happens like from Egypt. If you want to move to United States, you can have a lot of problem with the visa, because
Yeah.
then better Mexico, better people, nice environment, good beer. And I know you don't drink, but I can do by yourself. I can do by you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The night is very nice.
Yeah,
Mexico.
U.S. visa is not easy. New Mexico actually in United States, not Mexico. So I have U.S. visa now, but it's stuff for traveling, not staying. But if you are trying to move to U.S., it's the same challenge for everyone.
Exactly, 100%. Also, I remember when I arrived to United States the first time. I was closeted in a department for 3 or 4 hours, making questions to me what I go to United States, what I did,
Okay.
yes, something like that. Because I know have a one hacker, and the name is Alberto Gonzalez, and he's a very famous hacker, and maybe that's why, I
Yeah.
don't know. But the thing is, I was there for 3 hours answering questions. I don't know why, but that something happens for me because I'm Latino and I need to understand that. Then I want to talk now a little bit about the future, okay? And I want to know what's gonna happen with you what projection do you have in your next 5 years? We can say.
Yeah. Next 5 years, maybe AI will replace us. Not really. There is evolution in AI, and for me, it makes my job easier for boring stuff, writing reports, uh, you know, stuff like taking notes. I just give my AI stuff, Notion AI. If you know Notion, I use it just to write for me some introductions for this slide, and
Mm.
AI is very crazy because it gets, developed very fast. And we have, threat actors now use AI. Everyone is using AI. So this is the future. You know how to break AI.
Exactly.
You need to know how to break it, how to use it in your day-to-day job, how to weaponize it in a red team. People actually, when AI came out, they said, okay, sorry, they said, okay, AI will replace us, and we will lose our jobs. Uh, in my opinion or my point of view, you need to use it.
Mhm.
If you are a designer and you are, doing designs for someone, you can use some of AI and generate some, patterns and get some ideas from that, enhance your design with AI. Some guys are not good with coding stuff or reading code. You can use AI to read the code and explain it to you. You can use AI now to write the code. But, it's different perspective. But,
Exactly.
this is my...
Exactly. Also, that's why I to that podcast, the second person comes was Hussein. Hussein is an expert in AI. He's incredible, but not AI in large models. It's like more AI in how to say, like, I don't know how to say the name. When you create like the connections with everything, like, oh, I forgot. Sorry. That means like someone is expert in AI, but they deeply thinks of AI. And he explained to the people very, very interesting point of view. And something you said, like, I believe AI is in the future. For me, for example, I use every day, for example, for create scripts, and it helped me to automatize parts of my daily jobs. Right? If I want to do something, I can use Python and I can do it. And someone is telling me like in 1 year, the AI can develop software by alone or like automatically and perfect software, but maybe in 1 year. And if I look back in the back and like in the last years, I was checking like maybe it can be possible, because if you see the evolution in the last 6 months, it's crazy. And if we think maybe in 1 year, maybe that's gonna be true. What do you think? You believe that's gonna happen, or it's like hypothetical stuff?
Yeah. I actually don't know. You can't predict, but yeah, AI is developing very fast, and yeah, it will, cause some pain to people actually love to sit in the comfort zone. If you are in the comfort zone and you are not learning, like, you see IT guys, they are very crazy. They are still studying, taking certificates. So today's world is very different. If you are working in any field, you need to know how to use technology. For example, some accountants in Egypt, they were using papers, not using Excel, and some developed to use some enhanced Excel functions, and some people write Python scripts. This is what I'm talking about. You need to keep up with the world technologies.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe AI will, be pain for someone, but for me as a red teamer, red teaming is just a concept. It's about breaking into environments. I don't care how to break it, but I will.
I remember what Hussein did is neural networks. That's different approach to the AI.
Yeah.
Then Mohamed, thank you very much for that conversation. I really was super interesting your life and what happened in your background. And I hope to see you again, man. And if someday you move to Europe to somewhere, you can tell me a call and keep in contact, man. Thank you very much for your time. And my pleasure, bro. Big hug
Thank
from
you,
from
Albert.
Finland. Do you want to say something before tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, stay resilient and keep fighting every day. Life is not easy. If you have a goal, keep working on it every day. If you are working, taking some smaller steps will make bigger achievements.
That's very, very, very point of view. Thank you, man. Keep in contact. Bye bye.
Bye.